Vocabulary won't stick? You study for hours and still forget every new word by tomorrow? You listen to native speakers and all you hear is noise, fast, confusing, impossible to follow. You try to speak, but your mind freezes and your tongue refuses to move. You've been learning English for months, maybe years, and still feel stuck at the same level. What if I told you? You've been learning English completely wrong this whole time. Let's be honest. Textbooks don't teach you how to speak. They make you memorize lifeless sentences you'll never use. Flashcards. You repeat the same word 100 times and still forget it when it actually matters. Grammar drills. You know the rules but can't build a sentence when someone talks to you. And every time you open your mouth in front of someone fluent, embarrassment hits you like a wave. You smile, you nod, pretending to understand. But deep down, you feel stuck in beginner hell. That voice in your head whispers, maybe English just isn't for me. But here's the truth. Your brain isn't broken. It's just bored. Because your brain learns faster with stories, not rules. Emotion, not repetition. Real meaning, not mechanical memory. Let me tell you about a student named Daniel. He lived in a small town just like many of you watching right now. He tried everything. Online apps, grammar books, endless vocabulary lists. But every word slipped away like sand. Then one day, he discovered something simple but powerful. He stopped studying words and started learning stories. He imagined each word as part of his own life, his goals, his struggles, his emotions. Within months, he didn't just remember words. He used them naturally. That's what this documentary is about. The hidden secret that makes English unforgettable. You'll hear slow, clear narration, so you finally understand every word. You'll learn real-world vocabulary you can actually use when you speak. And every lesson will hit you emotionally, so the words stick permanently. Let me tell you about a student named Daniel. He lived in a small town, just like many of you watching right now. He tried everything, online apps, grammar books, endless vocabulary lists. But every word slipped away like sand. Then one day, he discovered something simple but powerful. He stopped studying words and started learning stories. He imagined each word as part of his own life, his goals, his struggles, his emotions. Within months, he didn't just remember words. He used them naturally. That's what this documentary is about. The hidden secret that makes English unforgettable. You'll hear slow, clear narration, so you finally understand every word. You'll learn real-world vocabulary you can actually use when you speak. And every lesson will hit you emotionally, so the words stick permanently. Imagine waking up tomorrow and actually thinking in English. No translating, no panic, just pure flow. Imagine ordering coffee without fear, introducing yourself without hesitation, watching a movie and whispering, "Wait, I understood every word." Imagine using 1,000 English words that feel like a part of you. Natural, confident, alive. That's what's waiting for you in this journey. The moment when English finally stops being a subject and becomes your second voice. So if you're tired of struggling, tired of feeling left behind, and ready to finally speak English with power and purpose, this is your moment. Smash that like button right now if you're done memorizing and ready to understand. Subscribe to the Control English channel, because this is where your real English journey begins. Turn on subtitles, stay till the end, and I promise, by the time this documentary finishes, you'll never look at English words the same way again. This is your story, your transformation, your voice. Let's begin. Let's be honest. Learning English vocabulary can feel like walking through a maze. Every word looks familiar, yet somehow slips away the moment you need it. You open your mouth to speak, but your mind goes blank, like the words were never really yours. If that's ever happened to you, you're not alone. Every learner, from small towns to big cities, faces this same struggle. But here's the truth. Learning 1,000 English vocabulary words isn't about memorizing a list. It's about building a bridge, a living, breathing connection between you and the language you dream of mastering. And today, we're going to build that bridge together, step by step, story by story, until every single word becomes a part of who you are. Lesson 1. The real reason you forget words. It's not because you're lazy. It's because your brain never built a story around the words. Words don't live alone. They live in meaning, in memory, in emotion. If I say rain, you might picture water. But if I say, the rain washed away my sadness, that word now has life. That's how you start learning, by giving every word its heartbeat. From this moment, stop memorizing, start connecting. The more emotion you attach to a word, the longer it stays with you. Lesson 2. The power of a personal vocabulary journal. Buy a notebook or open a digital one. This isn't just for writing words. It's your English storybook. Write down new words you hear in songs, podcasts, or conversations. But don't stop there. Write one line about how that word feels to you. For example, the word hope. Don't just write, hope means expectation. Write, I feel hope when I imagine speaking English confidently. Now, you've given that word a home in your heart. Lesson 3. The emotional hook of language. Emotion is your memory's best friend. When you feel something, your brain remembers it. That's why songs stay longer in your head than textbooks. The next time you learn a new word, ask yourself, how does this word make me feel? For instance, courage. Feel the strength behind it. Feel your voice steady as you say it aloud. You're not just saying a word, you're claiming an identity. Lesson 4. Speak before you're ready. Most learners wait for the perfect moment to speak English, but perfection never arrives. Confidence is not a requirement, it's a result. You learn to swim by getting into water, not by watching from the shore. Every time you use a new word, even if it's wrong, your brain begins to own it. Speak it in front of the mirror, whisper it while walking, say it to your pet, anything. Use it, and it becomes yours. Lesson 5. The 5-minute rule of vocabulary growth. Here's a small habit that changes everything. Spend just 5 minutes daily learning 5 new words. But don't stop at definitions. Build mini-stories around them. For example, the words bright, dream, rise, fall, rebuild. Create a line. Every bright dream may fall, but I always rebuild. That's 5 new words locked forever in your heart. When learning feels emotional, it never feels forced. Lesson 6. How memory really works. Memory isn't a box, it's a network. When you connect words to your life, they stay connected in your brain. That's why flashcards alone don't work for long. Instead of random repetition, build real associations. Learn the word journey, and remember your first day of school. Learn faith, and recall a time you believed in yourself. Language grows from your own experiences. Lesson 7. Listening, the hidden superpower. You can't use what you don't hear. Listen more than you read. Podcasts, English songs, short movies, anything that feels natural. The secret is active listening. When you hear a new word, pause. Repeat it. Imagine using it. Listening trains your ear to think in English before you even realize it. That's how real fluency begins. Lesson 8. Repetition without boredom. Repetition isn't boring when it's meaningful. The trick is variation. Read it, write it, hear it, say it, and feel it. 5 ways to repeat. 5 times the memory. Instead of repeating beautiful 10 times, use it differently. She's beautiful. That's a beautiful moment. Life is beautiful. Each time, the word breathes a new life. Lesson 9. Vocabulary in context. Never learn words alone, always in context. If you see the word achieve, don't memorize it like a robot. Build it in a line. I want to achieve my English goals this year. Context gives your brain coordinates to find meaning faster. The next time you learn a word, build a sentence that sounds like your own life. Lesson 10. The music of words. English isn't just words, it's rhythm. Listen to how native speakers flow. They don't rush, they connect words like waves. Try saying, I can do it. Feel the confidence. Then, I can't do it. Feel the drop in emotion. Each sound carries power. When you master rhythm, vocabulary becomes music. Lesson 11. Building confidence. Brick by brick. Confidence is not born, it's built. Every word you use is one brick in your wall of courage. Don't compare yourself with fluent speakers. Compare yourself with who you were yesterday. If yesterday you knew 100 words and today 110, you've already won. Vocabulary growth is a slow fire, but once it burns, it never goes out. Lesson 12. The mirror talk method. Stand in front of a mirror, look at yourself, and talk in English using the new words you learned today. At first it feels weird, but then it becomes powerful. You're not just practicing pronunciation, you're building belief. Every word you say with your eyes looking into your reflection rewires your confidence. Lesson 13. The real-life method. Learning must meet reality. If you learn the word kind, find someone to compliment. Say, you're so kind. If you learned grateful, write a thank you note. Real-life use makes a word unforgettable. English isn't a language to study. It's a tool to live. Lesson 14. How fear blocks fluency. Fear of mistakes kills more dreams than lack of knowledge. You're afraid to sound wrong, so you stay silent. But silence teaches nothing. Mistakes are not signs of failure. They're signs of growth. Every native speaker once mispronounced something. Every confident speaker once trembled. Speak through fear. That's where fluency lives. Lesson 15. Building a word family. Every English word has a family. Take the word act. You'll find action, active, actor, activity. Learning one root gives you many relatives. That's smart vocabulary learning. Less effort, more return. You're not memorizing, you're unlocking a system. Lesson 16. The story of 1,000 words. Your goal isn't 1,000 random words. It's 1,000 connected lives. Each word you learn adds a color to your world. By the time you reach your 1,000th word, you'll realize you've built not just a vocabulary list, but a voice. That's your identity, fluent, confident, and uniquely yours. Lesson 17. Thinking in English. The moment you stop translating, you start speaking. Try thinking simple thoughts in English. I'm hungry. It's sunny. I'm excited. Slowly, your inner voice switches languages. Thinking in English doesn't happen overnight, but it begins the day you stop translating every word. Lesson 18. The shadowing technique. Listen to a short English audio clip and repeat it immediately. Shadow the speaker. Copy their rhythm, tone, and emotion. Don't worry about being perfect. You're training your ear and mouth to work together. This is one of the most powerful fluency builders ever. Lesson 19. Learn from emotions, not explanations. You'll forget what you read, but you'll never forget what you feel. That's why emotional stories stick. When you learn a new word, tie it to a personal emotion. For example, success. Don't just define it. Feel the pride of achieving something small today. That's how vocabulary becomes memory. Lesson 20. English in daily life. Label your surroundings in English. Your desk, mirror, door, wall. Every object becomes a teacher. Each label reminds you naturally, without pressure. The more English you see, the more English you think. Lesson 21. The secret power of writing. Writing is thinking made visible. Start journaling daily. Write what happened, how you felt, or what you learned in English. Even 3 sentences a day. Writing helps you see your vocabulary weaknesses and strengthens your memory like nothing else. Lesson 22. The power of curiosity. Every word has a story. Hospital comes from the Latin word hospes, meaning guest. Knowing that makes you remember. Curiosity keeps your mind alive. When you wonder where words come from, you start falling in love with English instead of fighting with it. Lesson 23. Learn from movies, not textbooks. Watch short scenes with subtitles. Repeat dialogues. Notice pronunciation. Feel their emotions. Textbooks teach structure, movies teach life. Real people, real words, real emotions. That's where English truly lives. Lesson 24. The 3R technique: recall, review, reflect. First, recall without looking. Then review what you missed. Finally, reflect on how you'll use it next. This method transforms short-term memory into lifelong knowledge. Every night before sleeping, recall 5 new words you learned that day. Lesson 25. The community effect. Learning alone is hard. Join a group, online or offline, where people speak English together. When you learn with others, you share energy, mistakes, and laughter. Every conversation doubles your confidence. Lesson 26. Celebrate every 100 words. Every 100 words is a milestone. Celebrate it. Reward yourself. Acknowledge progress. It's not about perfection, it's about persistence. Small celebrations fuel big dreams. Lesson 27. Breaking the plateau. After 500 words, progress feels slower. That's normal. It's the plateau phase, where learning feels stuck. Don't quit. This is the moment that separates dreamers from achievers. Keep going. The next 500 words will change your entire fluency forever. Lesson 28. Create word connections. Link words with others that share meaning. Happy connects to joyful, cheerful, delighted. These clusters multiply your vocabulary naturally. One root emotion can lead to 5 or 10 expressions. That's how natives speak richly without using complicated grammar. Lesson 29. Your daily English routine. Build a simple routine. Read, listen, speak, write. Even 15 minutes of each daily transforms your ability. English isn't learned in a day. It's built every day. Consistency beats talent. Lesson 30. The final 1,000. When you reach 1,000 words, pause. Don't rush to 2,000. Instead, use them deeply. Speak, write, dream, think, live in those 1,000 words until they feel like your own heartbeat. That's real mastery. Real fluency isn't about how many words you know, but how many you can use naturally. You started this journey wondering if learning 1,000 words was even possible. But now you know the truth. It's not only possible, it's powerful. Every word you've learned is a seed of transformation. From small towns to busy cities, from classrooms to living rooms, your voice matters. English isn't just a language of success. It's a language of connection, courage, and confidence. You're not just learning English anymore. You're learning how to express your soul in a global voice. So keep speaking, keep writing, keep feeling. Every word you use brings you closer to the version of yourself you were meant to become. Fluent, fearless, and free. And remember, you don't need to know all the words in the world. You just need to own 1,000 that speak your truth.